Nikola Jokic, known as one of the best big men in the NBA currently today. However, no one could have predicted how good Jokic was going to be in 2014 when he was originally drafted by the Denver Nuggets in the second round of the 2014 NBA draft. Knowing what we know now, what if, in some hypothetical situation, we could load back in the 2014 draft class for the 2021 season and just see where Nikola Jokic would end up knowing that he would be this good. How's it going, guys? My name is TJP, and today we're back in another MyNBA 2K simulation. Now, we're going to be doing a career simulation, as indicated by the intro, of Nikola Jokic, one of the top centers in the NBA. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to load in a historical draft class, and we're going to re-simulate his entire career, knowing what we know now. If hindsight, wasn't 2020, or rather, we just knew that he was going to turn out to be the player that he was. Let's see how his career would pan out differently. Will the Nuggets still draft him? Well, there's only one to find out, and we're going to re-simulate it using MyNBA. I simulated the entirety of the 2021 season. The Bucks ended up winning the championship. I loaded in the 2014 draft class, and the number one pick goes to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they are the ones that will be drafting Nikola Jokic to the squad. So we are going to be taking control of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And again, I know there's going to be some players with some duplicates. Like there's going to be 2 Jokic's and 2 Joel Embiid's, probably 2 whatever. So, yeah. So in this scenario, we're going to be following Nikola Jokic, and this is just a hypothetical situation. If 2021, we're drafting him to the Thunder. So, if this was 7 years ago, if we said, okay, this is the draft class for this year, he would have gone number 1. So, it's time to simulate Jokic's career on the Nuggets and see how well he does. And before I do that, though, I just want to highlight, Embiid went number 2. There are some fake names here, but Jabari Parker goes number 5. Sarge goes number 4. Aaron Gordon is number 7. And Wiggins went 8. Marcus Smart went 10th. Dante Exum went 11th. Bogdan Bogdanovic went 12th. Julius Randle went 13th. TJ Warren went 16th. Alfred Payton went 18th. Rodney Hood went 19th. Gary Harris went 20th. Noah Vonleh went 21st. 22nd, Kyle Anderson. 23rd, Clint Capella. Or 24th, I should say. Whatever. Anyways, let's just simulate. We're going to take control of the Thunder. And we're just going to see where Jokic ends up and how he does with the Oklahoma City Thunder as a number 1 pick. In this hypothetical scenario, James Harden, MVP. Jokic did end up winning Rookie of the Year, putting up 17, 8, and 6, or something along those lines. But we don't care about that. We don't really care about that. Let's take a look and see who was on the all-rookie first team. The real Jokic is all-NBA first team. And in this hypothetical scenario, this Jokic on the Oklahoma City Thunder is also on all-rookie first team. I guess the Thunder also have Jabari Parker. That's nice. But overall, though, the team was terrible. Only going 22-60, actually having the worst record in the NBA. So they're going to end up having another pick. And yeah, we're just going to go on to the next season. Let's just end up seeing who wins the championship. And it's going to be the Brooklyn Nets winning the finals. Luka Doncic becomes the MVP in this scenario, and I'm just looking at the rewards really, really quickly. Let's just see if the Jokic is here. This is the real Jokic making all-NBA third team. So in Jokic's second season, the Thunder went 34-48, which was better than last year. They didn't get last place, but they were not that great. And Shai Gilgeous got hurt, apparently, in this season. Jabari Parker, though, has become a very good scorer, staying healthy. And Jokic, though, he's our main focus. 20 points, 9 rebounds and 7 assists. So he's showing that all-around game that he's showing currently. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the team is pretty young, so there's a lot of development that needs to be done. But I think in due time, the Thunder will end up being a really good team, with Jokic being one of the centerpieces for the Thunder franchise. And as we simulate, though, the Timberwolves win the finals. That'll never happen. And Towns wins finals MVPs. So we're going on to our 3rd season. Let's see how he does. So no major roster changes with the Thunder so far. I mean, yes, they have Tim Hardaway Jr. now. Although every one of these young guys are starting to develop a bit, which is nice. Seth Curry is here as well, so I guess that's kind of cool. And Jimmy Butler's cousin, Jared Butler. Well, anyways, we're going to simulate and see how we do. Well, Luka Doncic wins MVP again. Cade Cunningham, Rookie of the Year. Devontae Graham, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Sekou Doumbouya. I guess is on Brooklyn, which is interesting. Looks like the Jazz were the best team, or one of the best teams. And let's just look at any of these All-NBA teams. Still no Jokic on here, so he hasn't really put that next step in yet to become an All-NBA performer. And again, it did take him a few years, I think, in real life for him to actually become an All-NBA center. If I'm not mistaken, since he was playing behind Yusuf Nurkic for a bit. But he's putting up good numbers, so it's not really because he's not producing or anything. He's putting up good numbers, and the rest of the team is doing, pretty decently. 6 guys averaging double figures, so the team is developing. We just missed out on the playoffs, so I think by next year, we will be seeing the Oklahoma City Thunder in the playoffs, and maybe they'll make a move. Who knows? I am not controlling any of the simulations or moves that the team makes. I'm just letting the CPU control all of that. And the Pelicans win the chip. So let's go on to Jokic's 4th season. So looking at the roster, again, nothing really major has changed with this team. I guess they picked up Jonas Valanciunas. And it looks like they lost a couple guys, but other than that, maybe it was through trades. I'm not really sure. But Shea is still here, Jokic is here, Jabari Parker, Jonathan Kuminga, and Alexis Pokusevski. The cheat code. This guy definitely would love to do a career simulation on him as well. He'd be someone very interesting to do a simulation on. But anyways, we're going to simulate the rest of the season and see how Jokic does. Luka Doncic wins MVP again. This guy, Rookie of the Year. Cade Cunningham, 6th Man of the Year. I just realized he's in Golden State. Holy cow. Giannis, Defensive Player of the Year. Sebastian. Mike Malone, Coach of the Year for the Nuggets, I think. And this guy was the executive. So, Jokic, our Jokic, made All-NBA first team. So he is already now he's becoming an All-NBA performer. And I think this is about when Jokic started to become, what was it? Like, on the scale, like, really, really good. I don't know if he was an All-NBA first team, but... yeah, anyways, though, like 22.1 points, 9.9 rebounds, 7 assists, and again, he was the number 1 overall pick, so I mean, this guy, Jokic is producing now. He is starting to produce, and that's great to see. And the actual Jokic, well, I can look at this now and see. So by his 4th season, that's when he was starting to put up those, like, 20-point games. So out of the gate, I'm pretty sure our rookie Jokic was maybe the 2nd season he started doing that, so... He's definitely advanced. I think he's a lot further than where he is now. Again, knowing what we know now, hindsight's 2020, right? I am curious to see, like, does he have any rewards here? Because I do want to see when he was the first. So his first All-NBA, first team All-NBA was in 2019. Okay, so yeah, he was first team All-Rookie. So he was rookie first team when he was a rookie. But then again, I think he sat out his first year or something like that, if I can remember correctly. But I'm not really sure. But anyways, here are the rest of the guys' awards. And again, Denver was the number 1 seed, but we were the number 2 seed. So our Jokic might meet the real Jokic if we don't lose in the playoffs. But as I say that and simulate, we lose in 6 to the Golden State Warriors. And the the real Nuggets with the real Jokic lose to the Hawks in the finals. So season 5, let's see if Jokic is going to stay or re-sign with the Thunder. Well, Jokic did re-sign with the Thunder. He is still here, along with Jabari Parker, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jonathan Kuminga, Alexis Pokusevski, this guy Ayo Dosunmu. I guess he's either been, I guess he was drafted in 2023. Okay, so I guess he's developed nicely. So yeah, the Oklahoma City, they have a lot of young guys, but you know, we'll see what they could do with this talent. Shai is now in his prime, obviously, so we're going to simulate another season. Let's see how Jokic does. So, again, Trae Young now takes the MVP, and Cade Cunningham again. I guess he's the perennial Sixth Man of the Year candidate. I did adjust my seat position. That way I'm a little bit closer to the camera, at least my face a little bit more eye level. That way you guys can see me better. But let's take a look and see where or if we have a... Interesting. Jokic is not on here anywhere. I wonder if he ended up getting hurt. I'm not really sure. But we were the 5 seed, so there were definitely some injuries, I would think. Jokic, though, had a great season, putting up 25, a little over 10 rebounds, and 7.5 assists a game, and was pretty efficient doing so. 51 from the field, 44 from 3, and 81% from the line. I do wonder, though, if he ended up playing that many games, and it looks like he played only 55 games, so he did end up getting hurt, which is why he didn't make any of the season. Jabari Parker is hurt. Jonathan Kuminga is also hurt. I kept injuries on just to keep it more realistic, especially since Jokic is a real player, not like a Jesus Christ is coming down from the earth, right? Scenario that I've done before in the past, but we're taking on Golden State again. So let's see if we can end up beating them, or do they end up beating the Oklahoma City Thunder again? They do, in 5 games. So looks like Oklahoma City still can't get out of that hump, get over that hump in the playoffs. But the real Denver Nuggets win the championship, and the real Nikola Jokic is the Finals MVP. So that's pretty interesting. That's his first championship. So it took him until he was age 31 to win it. So let's see if we could win it before he ends up winning it here. That'd be interesting. Again, overall, no major changes to the roster, but everyone is still continuing to develop for the most part. Well, Luka Doncic wins the MVP, but other than that, the only other notable is Bol Bol winning Sixth Man of the Year. Everyone else, for the most part, winning what you would expect. We do have Jokic on All-NBA First Team, so this time he is staying healthy. He's putting up big numbers. Again, 24 points, 9.5 rebounds, 7.2 assists. And again, was pretty efficient. Efficiency went slightly down for the most part. Numbers are where you'd expect them to be. And the real Jokic gets All-NBA 13. It's funny looking at this. His career high was 2020-2021 with 24.7 points. But I think we've already eclipsed that last year, but technically he only played a certain amount of games. But I imagine he will eclipse that with the Thunder very, very soon. And no other notable rewards there. But the Thunder were the 3rd seed this year, 53-29. And, well, it's a sigh of relief as we're not playing the Golden State Warriors in the first round. But let's see if the Thunder can get out of the first round. And they still can't. They lose to the Grizzlies in the first round. So, unfortunately, they have once again fallen short in the postseason. So, it makes you kind of wonder, maybe it was a blessing in disguise that Jokic ended up with the Nuggets. But, again, it's still pretty early. I don't think he's hit his prime yet. I think he's only 24, maybe 25 here. So, he's got some time. So, ironically, I don't know if you guys just saw that, but the Rockets ended up winning the championship, which I found kind of funny. I don't know why I thought that was funny, but... Well, Jokic is officially the best player now on the Thunder. He's a 90 overall, and I'm not sure how much. He has still some time to develop. He's still pretty young, 25 years old. Shai is, again, still in his prime. He's signed for 4 years. So that's pretty interesting. Jabari Parker is here. Jonathan Kuminga's developing. Pokuševski, he's still here doing his thing. So for the most part, I mean, decent. I mean, the team is pretty much the same core of guys. So let's see if they can end up maybe just saying they get out of the first round. That'd be... So Ja Morant was the MVP in 2028. So that's pretty interesting. Joel Embiid is Defensive Player of the Year on the Wizards. It's interesting, though. I'm looking at Joel Embiid's scoring. I don't know what it is, but it's very low. Why is that? I don't know. The tendencies must be messed up. That's the only thing I can think of. Then again, we're not really worried about Joel Embiid. We are worried about Jokic, who got All-NBA third team. And his numbers did take a bit of a dip, but still putting up great numbers nevertheless and making All-NBA third team. Beating out the real Jokic, so that's pretty interesting. The Thunder did take a step back. They were only the 7th seed, and I'm assuming injuries had played a role in that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is heated for whatever reason. I don't know why, but he is heated. And, I mean, for the most part, the team, there's a lot of depth on this team. There's a lot of talent. 7 guys average double figures. But then again, it just seems that the Thunder just can't seem to put it together. And we're taking on the Grizzlies again in the postseason. And once again, the Thunder lose in 5. So it kind of makes you wonder, will Jokic have to leave the Thunder to win a title? Considering the real Nuggets just won another title in 2028, and Jokic got another Finals MVP. For the most part, everyone is still here. There might be some minor differences, but, you know, like I said, nothing too major. They didn't really sign anybody that's a game changer, but I don't know what the Thunder are going to do. This is Jokic's, 8th season? And he hasn't been out of the first round yet, so I imagine that might be taking him off a little bit, but then again, it's 2K, so it's not really realistic. Well, Luka Doncic was the MVP again, and, I mean, Joel Embiid, once again, Defensive Player of the Year. He's won a lot of them. How many has he won? He has won, he's only won 2, but he's been all first team, all defense 4 times, so that's interesting. This guy, Howard Scott, put up some big numbers for the Magic. And taking a look at All-NBA teams, Jokic making All-NBA third team. Again, putting up 22.4 points, 9.1 rebounds, 6.5 assists. And pretty efficient again. I mean, for his career, he's had a good career so far. But, again, he hasn't had that much postseason success. So, that's something to be a little bit weary of. And despite the fact that we went 61-21, we're only the 4th seed, which is kind of incredible if you think about it. But that's weird. Why were we the 4th seed? We went 61-21 and we were the 4th seed. I think there might have been a rule change. I should have turned those off, but I didn't. Oh well. Anyways, it's too late to change that. Taking on the Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves do get eliminated, and we're now taking on the actual Nuggets in the second round, which is pretty incredible. And the battle of the Jokic's, the Nuggets get eliminated, so the Thunder do end up winning in 6. And in the Western Conference Finals, taking on the Rockets, they end up losing in 6, and the Pacers win the championship in 7 games. Well, Jokic has finally gotten out of the first round. So, I mean, that's great to see from him. And again, he's still here for another 3 years. So, he hasn't left yet, which is interesting. I'm wondering if he will leave in, his next season. And I am curious to see, is the actual Jokic still in the NBA? He is. He's 34 years old. So, he is still here doing his thing. So far, the numbers say that if Jokic was drafted number 1 overall to the Thunder, that the numbers would be better yet. So far, the accolades, I'd say 2-time champion, 2-time finals. At least in 2K, Nuggets, Jokic is having the better career. So Trae Young is the MVP in 2030. That's interesting. Ben Simmons wins Defensive Player of the Year. Again, very, very interesting. But, yeah. Jokic on the Thunder. Once again, All-NBA first team putting up a double-double. And the numbers look better, and the efficiency has gone up, which is nice. So that's good to see from him. This is his 9th year. And I think that's pretty interesting that he's putting up big numbers, but he's got to get it done in the post. Like, people are starting to question him. Can he be the piece to a championship? And as you can see here, once again, only the 5th seed. Only the 5th seed. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I am just curious to see how the rest of his team did. You know, for the most part, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys average double figures. And if you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them averaged above 15, which is pretty incredible. So a lot of depth there, a lot of depth, a lot of talent. But the Oklahoma City Thunder have just not yet figured out a way to put all that talent together. Will this be the year? No, because they lost in the first round once again. And to boot, the Denver Nuggets once again made it farther. Lost the Rockets. Rockets win the championship. And now this is looking like very interesting because the Rockets have this guy, Wally Cannon. Not only that, they made the trade to get those picks for Russell Westbrook. And they got Chris Paul as well. So the Thunder look in this situation like big losers because they haven't done anything yet really in the postseason besides a Western Conference Finals berth. Well, another year, and Jokic is 28 now. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is 32. Probably one more, maybe 2 more seasons of good ball play. Although then again, he's been pretty good for the most part. It's interesting though. His numbers have started to dip ever since 2025. Hasn't averaged 20 points since. So that's pretty interesting. But for the most part, the team is what it is. So can they get it done? Well, let's simulate. So Wally Cannon, our first auto-generated MVP in 2031. Bol and Joel Embiid are still winning awards, which is pretty interesting. This guy, Johnny Bryant, is a really good coach. I don't know who he's coaching, but they must be really, really good. Jokic makes All-NBA second team. Well, that's pretty good. The numbers, 50-40. I mean, yeah, the guy is putting up big numbers, but it's time for Jokic to get it done in the playoffs. He's got to get it done. He is 29 years old. He needs to get out of the first round. He's only been out of the first round once. He is not looking too hot. And his ranking in the NBA as one of the best big mans is slipping. It's starting to slip. These young guys are coming up. There's guys that are outperforming him better in the playoffs. He's got to do better. So let's simulate and see. Once again, taking on Golden State. Can the Thunder get it done? They once again get eliminated in the first round in 5 games against the Golden State Warriors. They just can't seem to get it done. And it looks like the Rockets are they found the diamond in the rough with Wally Cannon. And the guy is just a very good player, and he's won a bunch of championships. So OKC, they're not looking too good. I mean, this is basically the team. The team is pretty much the same as it was before. And it's not really getting any better. So I don't know what the Thunder are going to do. Jokic is only a 90 overall. Looks like he's starting to decline a little bit. They got to get it done. They got to get it done soon. Or maybe Jokic might threaten leaving. Or he may never win. Well, let's simulate and find out. Well, would you looky here? Jokic wins his first MVP, putting up 25.5 points, 10.7 rebounds, 6.3 assists, over a steal and block a game. on 52.2% from the field, 82.5% from the line, and 46.3% from three. And we were the number 2 seed in the West. So, Jokic, congratulations. You win an MVP. Very, very good. The real Jokic has never done that, and so far, the Nuggets Jokic has yet to do that in 2K as well, so that's very interesting to see. But Johnny Bryant, whoever he's coaching, they're just too good. And again, obviously, if you win MVP, you're gonna get All NBA first team, and like that just makes the most sense. So yeah, just looking at the rest of these, if you guys want to pause and look, you're more than happy to. I think Johnny Bryant is the coach of the Rockets, I would assume. So the Rockets are they're just really, really good. And would you look at that? We're taking on, once again, the Golden State Warriors in the first round. They just have been the Thunder's kryptonite, and they're just not, we just can't seem to get past them. And we do have an injury to worry about. Jabari Parker, once again, getting hurt, tearing his ACL. I mean, I think he's had a better career, though, as the 5th overall pick instead of the 2nd overall pick. But, you know, 2K is 2K, right? So let's see. Can the Thunder get past the Warriors? No, they can't. That is, I'm pretty sure, the 4th time, maybe even more, that the Warriors played against the Thunder, and every time we played against them, we've lost in the first round, or just lost to them. Heat win the championship. Interesting. I just want to say respect to Stephen Curry, playing until he's 44 years old. I mean, that's pretty crazy. And all of his time was spent in Golden State, so fair play to Stephen Curry. He had a great career. Just wanted to share that with everybody. All right, so taking a look at the Oklahoma City Thunder roster once again. Again, nothing too major. The only thing that might be different, Jabari Parker is hurt still. I mean, I don't know if that's different, but it's just not the best full-strength roster. So, yeah, they got to get it done. Jokic, you're 30 years old. You have yet to win a championship. You've only been out of the first round once. You won an MVP, and you got eliminated in the first round by Golden State again. Curry is no longer on the team. You got to get it done. Well, Wally Cannon, once again, MVP. And as you can see here, all of these guys are auto-generated, the players. Again, Rockets were really good. And looking at the All-NBA teams, Jokic made it again. All-NBA first team, and he's putting up great statistics, right? Great statistics. Now, the problem is, as I look it through here, if you guys are curious, we did not even make the playoffs. We were 38-44. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that there were injuries that occurred. But, you know, Jokic is still on the team, interestingly. I mean, yeah. Pokuševski got hurt, and so did Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So they both got hurt, which is unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate for the team. It was a very disappointing season. But again, injuries, bit of a killer. So this season, certainly a wash and a waste of an All-NBA performance from Jokic. And the Pacers win the finals. So starting off this season, Shai Gilgeous is still hurt for the first couple of months. So that's not going to be too great. So they're going to be missing our starting shooting guard. And, you know, he is 35 now. So it looks like basically Shai Gilgeous is not going to really be getting any better. He's probably be worse than what he was before. We've seen the best of him already. I mean, I don't know how good the Thunder are going to be. So Wally Cannon wins the MVP again, which is interesting. And this guy on the Pacers, Lamont Howard, Defensive Player of the Year. This guy has had a nice career. And again, the Rockets, once again, All-NBA, or, well, best team in the record, best team in the NBA. And this is interesting. No Jokic on any of these All-NBA teams, so I'm wondering if he got hurt. Well, let's find out. Again, the Thunder did not make the playoffs, and I think we've seen the best for the Thunder. Jokic did end up getting hurt with a high right ankle sprain. He did put up big numbers, which is nice. But as you can see here, you know, the team is starting to get old. I guess we have Aaron Gordon now, which is interesting. But other than that, and Miles Turner, yeah, this team has seen its. I think we've seen the best of the Thunder, unless they make a big move. I don't see them winning a championship now. I think the best years are behind them, and that is unfortunate for Jokic. You know, in this scenario, as the Jazz win the championship. Oh, no major changes again to the roster. The only major change is that there's no longer any Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and it looks like we have not LeBron, but Luther James. Well, isn't that great? Yeah, I think if I was Jokic, I would leave after 2 years, maybe sign with a contender just to see if he can get a ring. Because at that point, you'll be 34. You're not winning a championship with Thunder. There's no way. Well, this guy, Alexi Park on the Lakers, MVP. And again, Defensive Player of the Year as well. So this guy might be... Well, he is really, really good. I was going to say he might be the next big thing, but he's not that young. Luke Walton was the Coach of the Year, I guess. That's cool for him. Jokic did end up making All-NBA First Team, which is, you know, impressive. You know, 14th season. He's 33 years old. He's putting up nice big numbers. It's actually his 4th season in a row where he's averaged a double-double. And last 5 of 6, he's averaged a double-double. And again, he's put up some great stats in his career. But he just doesn't have that championship. He's missing it. And I think he needs that. He does need a championship. And again, he doesn't have one. So... And we're taking on the Spurs in the first round, and, you know, 46-36, so much better this year. Great season from Jokic, and really everyone else, you know, they did their job. Again, Jabari Parker is hurt, not a surprise. And Cole Doyle, this guy, relatively young guy, is hurt as well, but he might be back for most of the playoffs. Well, taking on the Spurs in the first round. Will we be able to get past them? And we swept them. So, OKC is in the second round, and they're taking on Golden State, and they beat the Golden State Warriors. They swept them. Crazy. And now they're taking on the 1-seeded Lakers, who lose in 5. And Cleveland wins the championship, with Brian Owens winning the Finals MVP. So... Jokic finally gets out of the first round again, but only to get eliminated in 5 games in the Western Conference Finals. So he made it there, second time in his career. Just cannot get over that hump to the finals, and that's kind of what's keeping him out of the conversation for the best big man in the league, and even just in general, like, history, you know? But let's see if he can end up winning it. I don't know. He's got one more really good season before I think he really starts to show some decline. So again, you know, everyone here, not looking too great. I mean, they do have this young guy, Alan Moore, who's, you know, 22 years old and is an 81 overall, so he's a nice guy. But other than that, I mean, you can see here, the team is starting to kind of decline. There's really not that much talent. It's really just Jokic and then everyone else. Pokusevski and Parker are starting to decline. Even Jokic, I think he's got one more really good year in him before he starts to show some decline. Well, we're going to have to simulate. They have maybe one more legit chance, unless they sign somebody or something amazing happens. But Gene Bledsoe was the MVP, and I think there might have been like some kind of rule change here, because he only averaged 16 points. So I don't know what they did, but how did he win MVP? I don't understand why he won MVP. There has to have been some kind of rule change. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I haven't been keeping track of rule changes, but Jokic did make All NBA third team, and he's feeling lit, I guess. But the numbers have gone down, and I think that could be due to whatever rule change was enacted, but I don't know what rule that would have been. Yeah, I don't know. That's really weird. Either way, we sucked. 26 and 56. I think we've seen the best of Jokic. He's not getting it done. He's the only guy that averaged double figures, by the way, on the team. The team was really bad, and I don't know why the scoring was so low. There must have been some kind of rule change. I am just curious to see, like, why that is. Is there, like, a league history I can look at? There you go. 35-second shot clock. Well, that'll do it. I don't know why that's enacted, but I'm not changing it. And it doesn't make that much of a difference anyway. Now, I am curious to see if the real Jokic is even in the league anymore. I don't even think he is. I think he retired, and I didn't really check that, and I should have. Yeah, so he did end up retiring, I believe. I mean, his jersey is retired by the Nuggets, so yeah. That must have been a few years ago. I guess I missed him. Because I wanted to compare to see how good this Jokic was to the other one. I do know for a fact that the other Jokic, well, the real one, was definitely won a championship. At least 2 championships. So I would say overall, right now, the Nuggets Jokic has had a better career than this Jokic. And, I mean, here's the roster. The numbers are just... The team is just not really getting much better. I mean, again, like... This is as good as it gets, and Jokic is on the decline. Again, I don't see them being really good. I think their window has closed, and I really do think that if Jokic wants to win, he needs to leave OKC. Alright, so this guy, Perry Livingston, is the MVP. And again, the numbers are messed up because of the shot clock, and I don't really know how to fix that. So, unfortunately, we're just going to have to deal with it. Jokic did make All-NBA second team. And even with the shot clock kind of being the way it is, he's putting up still pretty good numbers. So, I mean... Honestly, like, good to see from him. Good to see from him. But that's really all he's going to be doing because he ain't winning. They're not in the playoffs. Again, they missed the playoffs. Oklahoma City misses the playoffs again. If Jokic wants to win, he's got to leave OKC. Yet he signed for another 3 years. So, I don't know if he's going to force a trade or I don't know what he's going to do, but... It just seems like he's maybe content with the fact that, hey, I'm not going to be an NBA champion. So, again, the Jokic on the Nuggets was a 2-time champion, a 2-time Finals MVP in the simulation, of course. So I don't know what he's going to end up doing. Well, the Heat win the Finals, and Bryce Sheldon was the MVP. So, on to another season. I don't know what season this is, but, you know, whatever season it is, it's... season 16, so if I'm assuming he's probably got 2 more years left in him before he might consider retiring. This guy, Alan Moore, has developed into a nice player, or at least in terms of overall, and they also have this Alonzo Hickman guy who's also decent, I guess. But yeah, as you can see, Jokic is going down, so he is probably going to be no longer the #1 option on the team. Let's see how he handles that. Well, this Bryce Sheldon guy in the Heat was the MVP, and they also had, well, I don't know what they had, but Billy Donovan in 64 and 18, but he's not our coach. He's not our coach, unfortunately. You know, Jokic did not make any All-NBA teams, so I'm wondering if he got hurt. But again, didn't make the playoffs, the 11 seeds. That's not good enough to make the playoffs. He did get hurt. He bruised his left hip. Put up nice numbers, again, but for the most part. I mean, the numbers are going down, and again, part of it has to do with the fact there was a rule change. Again, I can't revert that, I don't believe, or change it so that way, like, I can maybe get him some extra stats or whatever, or reduce his decline. But either way, I digress. So, like I said, the Oklahoma City Thunder, you know, they're done. They're done. They're not winning a championship. They may not even make the playoffs again in Jokic's career. And if I was Jokic, like I said, I would leave, maybe go to a championship contender. Kings win the finals in 38? We're going to another season, so let's see if Jokic is still around after next year, because he might consider retirement. Well, on to the 2038-2039 season, and Jokic, as you can see, his numbers, or his overall, is starting to go down. I mean, these guys look like they're starting to develop a bit. So, again, Jokic is, like I said, declining, and I'm curious to see if he has any kind of motivation, and it looks like he still wants to play, so that's interesting. So he might still re-sign with the Thunder. I guess his loyalty is very low, very high, so he's most likely not going to leave the team. But yeah, let's just see how he does in this next season. Well, Dusty Peterson was the MVP. But other than that, mostly these guys are all, they're all generated, but we do have a most improved player on the team, Alan Moore. So this guy that is starting to become the best player on the team, put up nice numbers, so that's nice to see. Do we have anybody on all NBA teams here? Doesn't look like it, so that's interesting. And again, Jokic, don't expect to be on there. But the Oklahoma City Thunder did make the playoffs, which I'm a little bit surprised about. But then again, they do have these young guys. So it's not really Jokic leading the way anymore. But these are his numbers. So, I mean, for the most part, as a 37-year-old, not too bad. And with the shot clock being at 35 seconds. So I would think these might be up a little bit more, like 4 or 5 or something like that. Same with these. These would be up a little bit higher. Maybe not 4 or 5, but like 2 or 3. Something like that. But, yeah, anyways, 6 seeded. They're taking on the Pelicans. Let's see if they can get out of the first round. Well, let's find out. And we simulate, and sure enough, they do. They win in 5. Pelicans get eliminated, and we're taking on the Clippers. And we beat the Clippers in 5. We're taking on the number 1 seeded Memphis Grizzlies, and they get eliminated in 7. So Jokic has yet to make an NBA Finals. Celtics win the championship. They sweep the Grizzlies. Justin Ryer in Finals MVP. Got to go on to another year. Well, Jokic is no longer on the Thunder. That is interesting. I'm actually curious to see where he is. Is he even signed? He may not even be signed. Let's find out. So I'm going to search up Jokic. But he is definitely not on the Thunder. He went to the Phoenix Suns. Interesting. Now, I don't know how good the Phoenix Suns are, but I guess we're going to switch over to them, and thank goodness they're right here. So, Phoenix, it looks like they have a better team than the Thunder. A little bit deeper. Yeah, they're definitely better. Definitely a better team. So, I do think that Jokic wants to win a championship, so he decided, I'm going to sail ship off Oklahoma City and go to Phoenix to try to win a championship, compete. Let's see if they can do it. Let's see if he can do it. Find out now. Kobe Dunleavy was the MVP, and you guys can see the rewards here. Look at them. But the Phoenix Suns did make the playoffs. They were the 4th seed. And I don't think we're going to see Jokic on any of these teams, considering he's 37 or 38, I believe. I don't remember how old he was, but they did make the playoffs, the 4th seed, and we're taking on San Antonio. Oklahoma City also made the playoffs. Interesting. So I am curious to see how that's going to be. But let's take a look at the player stats, see what Jokic did, and put up 7 points. So yeah, the numbers are definitely going down. And again, another thing too is the stuff. The league is a little bit messed up. The rules are a bit messed up. But I think Jokic, he might play one more season after this, and then he's going to call it quits. I think they retire after 20 years anyway. I don't think they play more than 20 years in the league, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really know that for sure, but we'll see. Anyways, we're taking on the Spurs. Let's see. Can the Suns beat the Spurs? They do beat the Spurs, and they're taking on the Kings in the 2nd round, and they beat the Kings. They're taking on the Rockets. The Suns make the finals, but they get swept by the Heat, so Jokic finally makes the finals. and they get swept by the Heat. So Eric Harrington was the Finals MVP. But Jokic finally got over the hump, yet he's really at the twilight of his career. So quite frankly, he still doesn't have that ring. He doesn't have that ring, so he's not in that conversation as one of the best big men to ever play the game. He's missing that hardware, so he could go down as one of the best players to not have a ring in this simulation. If he doesn't get a championship next season, assuming he, doesn't retire, and he did retire, so that's it. Jokic ends up not winning a championship. I'm not going to override it. I could, but I'm not going to do it. He has gone out on his own terms. Overall, 20.3 points, 8.6 rebounds, 5.5 assists. Add +1 of those, though, because of the whatever. Or like 1.5, 1, and then 1. So more like, or not even 1, like 0.6 and then 0.7. Even then, he had a good career, but he didn't get that championship. That was the one thing he was missing. He got an MVP, which he never got in Denver. But he was a 2-time Finals MVP and a 2-time champion. Something that this Jokic cannot say. But overall, though, he did have a good career, I'd say. MVP, 12-time All-Star, 6-time first-team All-NBA, second-team All-NBA. He got it twice, and also 3 times on the third All-NBA team as Rookie of the Year. So, good career. I'd say he makes the Hall of Fame. Well, we'll find out. I would assume yes. He did make the Hall of Fame. He put up good numbers. But unfortunately, like I said, I think his career is a bit of a disappointment in the sense that he didn't get that elusive title. So that's something he was missing. Might hurt his legacy a bit. Alright, so to close off this video, guys, like I said, Jokic, had a good career as a #1 pick. Ended up leaving OKC to try to compete for a championship. He did get to the finals, but got swept. I feel like he maybe left, a few years too late. So that's kind of unfortunate, but, overall, he had great statistical numbers. He did win an MVP, something that the Jokic on Denver didn't do. But, again, the Nuggets, Jokic, ended up winning 2 championships and 2 Finals MVPs. So, who do you think had the better career? Unfortunately, I couldn't show you guys the Nuggets stats. I didn't see that he retired. But do you think this Jokic, if he was drafted #1 overall, would have the better career, or the one on the Nuggets? Comment down below what you guys think. Obviously, though, this is just 2K. So, again, not realistic. Obviously, you're not going to be playing. There's not going to be 2 Jokic's in the league. So, but anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. And check out my Twitch or Discord. Suggest me some other guys you might want to see. I'll load in the historic drafts and see how they do. Resimulate their entire careers from the start to the finish. And yeah, take care and peace.